Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nayaswami Padma, and we are here every day, every weekday at 12 o'clock to bring you Yogananda's Whispers from Eternity and offer a few thoughts about that day's particular reading, prayer demand. And yesterday we finished the section called Miscellaneous Demands. Today, we start into the consecutive next section, and it's called Prayers for Devotion. Doesn't get any better than that. And the first one is number 136. The title is, I Bring to Thee the Myrrh of Devotion. With folded hands, bowed head, and heart laden with the myrrh of reverence, I come to thee. Thou art my parents, I am thy child. Thou art my master, I am ready to obey the silent command of thy voice. I conjured the fragrant devotion of all hearts and mixed it with my tears. Now I am eager to wash thy feet in silence. A river of my ardent crystal tears of craving rushes forth to meet thee. Wilt thou see that my boisterous flood of devotion be not lost in the desert of disappointment? Wilt thou see that my mad flood of devotion follow always the right course which leads to thee? Well, how beautifully said. Yes, you are my master, and I obey your silent voice, and I bring you the fragrant devotion of all hearts. I try to accumulate, I try to feel myself in the presence of all hearts. Now I'm eager to wash thy feet of silence. And so he talks at the end also about, please ignore my boisterous prayer demand for devotion if I offer it too loudly, too meaning, too restlessly. Swami Kriyananda used to talk about that quite a bit. Yogananda's direct disciple and Ananda's founder. He used to talk about the fact that in the West especially, but I think it's worldwide. I think of Bollywood in India, for example. There's a lot of extrovert consciousness, extrovert energy. In fact, where I grew up in Suriname, a Dutch colony at the northern part of South America, there was that classic, even though it was Dutch, there was that classic sort of Latin American emotion that ran through the culture. And basically the higher you whipped up your emotions and expressed yourself, and the higher in emotions you acted, the more alive you were. And I remember even as a young child looking at that and thinking to myself, that's not where I want to be. That's not what I want to be. That's not how I want to live my life, because I would watch all those same people go down into the lowest depressions and just have these mood swings constantly. They were not centered. And when I met, through the years, but especially after finding this path of Yogananda's and meeting Swami Kriyananda, when I saw what it was like to be centered, still very deeply feeling the devotion, the feeling itself, but not expressing it, not letting it sort of being wasted by going out and up and having to come down again, but coming from our center, going out from that center, coming back to that center. We learn, I like to think of devotion as emotion with the D for divine in front of it, devotion. And so when it's divinely inspired, it's inspired from that very still heart of our being. And it is so much deeper and so much more joyous and so much more meaningful, and in time, so much more blissful. And so that is my prayer for all of us today, that we can tune into the bliss of our heart, the bliss of our soul, in the stillness of silence, of meditation, in the stillness of God's voice, in the stillness of divine chanting and offering our hearts into life, but owning our hearts first in God. Joy to you. See you again tomorrow. No, not tomorrow. Excuse me. Today is Friday. We'll see you again on Monday. Bye-bye now.